Hello and welcome to the fifth lecture of the course Forex in 3 Steps. In this lecture, we will be talking about the money game and how to reach financial freedom. Of course, anyone who pursues trading likely has one goal in mind, and it is to reach financial freedom. Who wouldn't want financial freedom? And in order to reach financial freedom, you need to be well aware of the money game and how to interact with it. The problem. The problem is, since we were children, we were taught to grow up to become employees in a company. Schools, universities, all these years of studying and years of education is teaching you how to work in a 9 to 5 in a company. And unfortunately, the truth is, being an employee does not guarantee you financial freedom. You need other sources of income other than your job to reach financial freedom. Many may say, but how? I don't have any other time other than the job I already have. So I don't have any time for another job. And that is something we will discuss. The poor person is not only the one who has no money, but also the one who goes down, works hard at his job every day, yet still cannot cover his monthly obligations. The cash flow quadrant is something you need to be well aware of and understand completely in order to understand the money game. There are two types of income: active income and passive income. Active income is something you need to work for hours in order to receive that income. On the other hand, passive income is an income that does not require you to work for a set amount of time. So, for example, an employee working in a job, working for a company, has to work a minimum of at least 8 hours, even more, in order to have that active income. Same with a self employed person, a freelance or whatever, someone who's employed on his own requires to work for a set amount or a minimum amount of hours in order to receive that active income. But investors and business owners are the ones who have free time. There is no obligation for them to work a set amount of time. An investor, all he does is he allocates an amount of his equity to a certain investment or to a certain stock or to a certain bond, and all he does is sit and wait for the investment to work out. Same with a business owner. As soon as his business starts going and he builds it up, it becomes passive income. I'm not saying being an employee is bad at all, no, but it's something to keep in mind that you should have, if you have an active income, you should also have a passive income, something that can bring you income passively without having you to work daily. And this is the goal to financial freedom, being having enough passive income until you don't even need to work a 9 to 5. You don't need active income. You don't need to be active in order to be stable and sustainable. And that is something trading offers. Yes, you will need to work a ton at the beginning to learn the concepts and to learn strategies and to learn the foundations of trading. But after a few months, a few years, trading can and will become a passive income for you and can provide you and make you reach financial freedom. Controlling your emotions is the second thing I wanted to talk about in order to have a full understanding of the money game. And in trading, you need to be well aware of your emotions and you need to be able to control your emotions. Fear and greed are the two most popular emotions when it comes to the money game and when it comes to trading. We will discuss them further on in the course, but for now, all you need to know is the money game can lead to extreme fear and extreme greed, and you need to be able to be neutral as much as possible if you want to succeed in the money game. Another thing you need to understand and need to work on is increasing your assets and reducing your liabilities. That's usually the goal for any business owner. That's usually the goal for all companies, and that should be your goal as a trader and as someone who wants to reach financial freedom and succeed in the money game. What are assets? Assets are things you own, like real estate, cars, investments, and so on. Liabilities, on the other hand, are things you are liable for, like, for example, debt, interest, and so on. The money game has three main steps you need to be well aware of. In order to reach financial freedom, you need to pass all these steps before reaching financial freedom. So let's talk about them. The first thing is financial security. This is the first goal and the main goal you want to reach in order to be on the right track. And it is basically the ability to cover obligations without a credit card or debt. The second thing is financial independence, and this is the ability to cover monthly expenses from an income source that does not require your presence, which is passive income. And finally, the main target and the main goal for everyone is financial freedom, which is basically the ability to pay monthly expenses and provide a decent life as well. Now that you are well aware of the money game, see you in the next video.